It started with a picture, a bright smile, a calm sea, and a girl named Philippine Lenoir de Carlon. Paris knew her as the daughter of a wealthy diplomat, kind, educated, and radiant with life. But on the night of June 17, 2021, that same smile vanished from the world without a sound. The city slept beneath the rain while somewhere, deep in the heart of Paris, something unspeakable happened. Her last known sighting was caught on a grainy CCTV, walking near the Seine River, alone, clutching her umbrella. Hours later, her phone pinged one final time near an abandoned hospital. Then nothing. The police found no witnesses, no struggle, no trace of life, only a red silk scarf tangled in the railing and a strange symbol scratched beneath it. A serpent. That was all. The case would soon spiral into obsession, not just for investigators, but for millions who would later watch her story unfold online. What they didn't know was that someone wanted them to. Detective Elise Martin entered Philippine's apartment the next morning. The air was stale, the blinds half closed, casting long stripes of shadow across a room frozen in time. A coffee cup sat half full on the table, lipstick still marking its rim. Her perfume lingered faintly, the scent of someone who left in a hurry, unaware it would be for the last time. Every object whispered a story, an open journal, a half-written note, and a keychain shaped like a serpent. That same symbol again. Martin's instincts screamed that this wasn't random. The serpent wasn't decoration. It was a message. As she stood in that eerie quiet, she saw the reflection of flashing police lights on the window pane. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled. For Martin, this was no ordinary case. It was a descent into darkness, one that would consume her entire life. 2 days later, the first suspect sat across from her, Marc Messiaen, a photographer and Philippine's former classmate. His face was calm, almost too calm. "She wanted to be famous," he said softly, "and I just helped her." His words made Martin's blood run cold. He spoke of Philippine not like a person, but a project, something he built, shaped, and then broke.
"She trusted you," Martin snapped.
He smiled faintly. She trusted everyone. That was her mistake. His eyes flickered, the kind that hide something sharp beneath. When he left the room, Martin stared at the file before her. Something about him didn't fit. He wasn't nervous, wasn't remorseful. Almost as if he knew something she didn't, something that would soon unravel the entire case. Late that night, a technician from the cybercrime unit called her in. "You need to see this," he said. On the monitor, a live stream flickered, a shadowy figure standing in a dim room. A woman's laughter echoed faintly, distorted through static. Then, the image glitched, revealing a tattoo on the man's wrist. A serpent. The stream was traced to a private network, encrypted, unreachable by normal means. But for a brief second, a reflection in the background showed something chilling. An IV drip, an old hospital bed, and a familiar window shape. It was the same hospital where Philippine's phone last pinged. Martin's pulse quickened. The killer wasn't hiding. He was performing, and the audience was growing every second. The next morning, Martin stood before her investigation board. Dozens of photos connected by red strings, each thread weaving a tapestry of horror. At the center was Philippine's photo, her smile now haunting rather than sweet. Beside it, Messiaen's face stared back at her like a ghost she couldn't escape. There was something theatrical about it all. The clues, the timing, the serpent motif. It was as if the killer wanted to be found, or worse, wanted to be understood. "This isn't murder," she whispered to herself. "It's art." Outside, the rain hit the glass harder. Every drop sounded like a ticking clock. The killer wasn't finished. He was waiting for his next act. A new lead emerged when a fisherman reported finding a torn piece of clothing downstream. It matched Philippine's DNA. Forensic lights flickered across the riverbank as Martin stood watching the black water move, slow and heavy. Among the reeds, a plastic bag surfaced. Inside it, a flash drive. The video on it made everyone in the van go silent. It was a recording of Philippine, alive but terrified, whispering something inaudible. Behind her, the same serpent mark was drawn on the wall. For the first time, Martin's composure cracked. This wasn't random violence. It was ritual, a message written in fear, and the one man who could explain it was still free. The address on the live stream finally led them to the abandoned Saint Laurent hospital, shuttered years ago. As Martin stepped inside, her flashlight sliced through thick dust and silence. Beds lay overturned, IV bags hung like ghosts, her footsteps echoed, and somewhere deeper inside, she heard a faint sound, a recording. Philippine's voice, crying, then fading. "Why are you doing this?" It was followed by laughter. A man's, Messiaen's. Every instinct told her to leave. But Martin wasn't here to survive. She was here to end this. In one of the hospital's rooms, she found a box. Inside, dozens of letters written in neat cursive. They were addressed to Philippine. The handwriting was Messiaen's. "You make me feel seen," one read. "You make me feel alive." But the later letters turned darker. "You ignore me now. You'll remember me when they do." Martin's heart pounded as she realized what he had become. A man so consumed by invisibility that he turned murder into art. The serpent, the live stream, the clues, all of it was his masterpiece. Somewhere above, a light flickered. He was here, watching her read his confession. Martin called for backup, but static filled her radio. The storm had knocked out all communication. She stepped into the main ward, empty, except for a single camera still recording. The red light blinked. "You came," a voice said behind her. She turned. Messiaen stood in the doorway, hands raised, smiling faintly. "You've been chasing me so long," he said. "Maybe you're the one who needs me." His calmness was worse than rage. He moved closer, eyes glinting. "Do you want to see how it ends?" Martin aimed her gun, but something in his tone froze her. He wasn't afraid. He was ready. The next moments were chaos. The two circled each other like shadows, the room echoing with every breath. Messiaen's knife flashed in the dim light, grazing her arm.
She fired. Missed.
He laughed, whispering, "You're shaking, Elise. You're just like her." Her heart thundered. "No," she said through clenched teeth. She was pure. "You're just noise." He lunged again. Another shot rang out. He fell, collapsing beside the old bed. The red recording light blinked one last time. Martin stood frozen, her breath ragged. The rain outside stopped. The silence felt eternal, broken only by her whisper, "It's over." But deep down, she knew it wasn't. Morning came. The hospital was surrounded by sirens and flashing lights. Messiaen's body was covered, his serpent tattoo still visible. Forensics found a USB in his pocket, his final message. In it, he said, "Justice is a story, and every story needs a villain." Martin watched in silence as the world reacted online, millions viewing his death like entertainment. Philippine's memory buried beneath hashtags. Justice had been served, but humanity had lost something greater: empathy. That night, Martin visited Philippine's grave. She placed the locket there and whispered, "You're free now." As she walked away, a cold wind rose. Somewhere, another notification chimed. Another stream had just gone live. Philippine Lenoir de Carlon's story wasn't just about death. It was about obsession, power, and how the world turns tragedy into spectacle. Her killer may be gone, but the echo of his cruelty still lingers online. The serpent lives in the eyes of those who watched and forgot. If her story touched you, don't let it fade into silence. Subscribe, share, and remember, every victim deserves more than just a headline. Sometimes remembering is the only justice left.